Jeremy the mad scientist laughing dog. Today we're going to discuss the Title 16 Commercial Practices Code of Federal Regulations, Federal Trade Commission Rules and Guidelines. First, Subchapter A, Organization, Procedures, and Rules of Practice. 0.1 to 0.20 discusses organization, and 1.1 to 1.101 discusses general procedures, and 2.1 to 2.51 discusses non-adjudicative procedures, and 3.1 to 3.83 discusses rules of practice for adjudicative proceedings, and 4.1 to 4.17 discusses miscellaneous rules, and 5.1 to 5.68 discusses standards of conduct, and 6.101 to 6.171 /6.999 discusses enforcement of non-discrimination on the basis of handicap in programs or activities conducted by the Federal Trade Commission. Next, 14.9 to 14.16 discusses administrative interpretations, general policy statements, and enforcement policy statements. Next, 16.1 to 16.16 discusses advisory committee management. Dun 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 dun. Laughing Duck and Scientist, Jeremy Laughing Duck and Scientist, signing off. Jeremy Laughing Duck Scientist will now report on Title 16 Commercial Practices of the Code of Federal Regulations, Federal Trade Commission. Subchapter B, Guides and Trade Practice Rules. Now then, 17 discusses application of guides and preventing unlawful practices. 18 discusses, or 18.0 to 18.8 discusses guides for the nursery industry. 20.0 to 20.3 discusses guides for the rebuilt, reconditioned, and other used automobile parts industry. 23.0 to 23.26 discusses guides for the jewelry, precious metals, and pewter industries. 24.0 to 24.3 discusses guides for select leather and imitation leather products. 25 through 227 are reserved. 233.1 to 233.5 discusses guides against deceptive pricing. 238.0 to 238.4 discusses guides against bait advertising. 239.1 to 239.5 discusses guides for the advertising warranties and guarantees. Now then, 240.1 to 240.15 discusses guides for advertising allowances and other merchandising payments and services. Now then, 251.1 discusses guides concerning use of the word free and similar representations. Now then, 254.0 to 254.7 discusses guides for private vocational and distance education schools. Now then, 255.0 to 255.5 discusses guides concerning use of endorsements and testimonials in advertising. Now then, 259.1 to 259.2 discusses guides concerning fuel economy advertising for new automobiles. Now then, 260.1 to 260.17 discusses guides for the use of environmental marketing claims. Dun 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 dun! Jeremy, laughing scientist, signing off. Dun 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 dun! These are things that really crack me up. Jeremy the laughing scientist dog. These are things that really crack me up. Today we're going to report on Title 16 Commercial Practices of Code of Federal Regulations of the Federal Trade Commission. And we left off at Subchapter C, Regulations under Specific Acts of Congress. 300.1 to 300.35 discusses rules and regulations under the Wool Products Labeling Act of 1939. Now then, 301 to 301.49 discusses rules and regulations under the Fur Products Labeling Act. Now then, 303 to 303.45 discusses rules and regulations under the Textile Fiber Products Identification Act. Now then, 304.1 to 304.6 discusses rules and regulations under the Hobby Protection Act. Now then, 305.1 to 305.25 discusses energy and water use labeling for consumer products under the Energy Policy and Conservation Act, Energy Labeling Rule. Now then, 306 to 306.12 discusses automotive fuel ratings, certification, and posting. 307 is reserved. 308.1 to 308.9 discusses trade regulation, rule pursuant to the Telephone Disclosure and Dispute Resolution Act of 1992. Now then, 309.1 to 309.21 discusses labeling requirements for alternative fuels and alternative fueled vehicles. Now then, 310.1 to 310.9 discusses telemarketing sales rule 16 CFR Part 310. Now then, 311.1 to 311.6 discusses test procedures and labeling standards for recycled oil. Now then, 312.1 to 312.13 discusses children's online privacy protection rule. Now then, 313.1 to 313.18 discusses privacy of consumer financial information. Now then, 314.1 to 314.5 discusses standards for safeguarding customer information. Dun 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 dun. Jeremy laughing scientist dog signing off. Dun 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 dun. Jeremy laughing duck scientist. Today we're going to report on the Title 16 Commercial Practices Code of Federal Regulations of the Federal Trade Commission, Subchapter C, the final parts of Subchapter C from Part 3 we missed. 315.1 to 315.11 covers contact lens rule. Now then, 316.1 to 316.6 covers can spam rule. Spam. Now then, 317.1 to 317.5 covers prohibition of energy market manipulation rule. Now then, 318.1 to 318.9 covers health breach notification rule. Now then, 320.1 covers disclosure requirements for depository institutions lacking federal deposit insurance. Now then, 321.1 covers mortgage acts and practices advertising. Now then, 322.1 covers mortgage assistance relief services. Dun 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 dun. Welcome. Jeremy the Laughing Duck Scientist signing off. Dun 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 dun. Jeremy the Laughing Duck and Scientist. And today we're going to report on Title 16 of Commercial Practices Code of Federal Regulations of the Federal Trade Commission, Subchapter D, Trade Regulation Rules. Starting off at 408, unfair or deceptive advertising and labeling of cigarettes in relation to the health hazards of smoking. Moving right along to 410.1, which covers deceptive advertising as to sizes of any viewable pictures shown by television receiving sets. Moving right along to 423.1 to 423.10, which covers care labeling of textile wearing apparel and certain piece goods as amended. 424.1 to 424.2 covers retail food, store advertising, and marketing practices. 425.1 covers use of planification negative option plans. 429 to 429.3 rule concerning cooling off period for sales made at home or at certain other locations. 432.1 to 432.6 covers power output claims for amplifiers utilized in home entertainment products. Now then, 433.1 to 433.3 covers preservation of consumers' claims and defenses. Now then, 435.1 to 435.3 covers mail or telephone order merchandise. Now then, 436.1 to 436.11 covers disclosure requirements and prohibitions concerning franchising. 473.1 to 437.1 to 437.10 covers business opportunity rule, and 444.1 to 444.5 covers credit practices, and 453.1 to 453.9 covers funeral industry practices, and 455.1 to 455.7 covers used motor vehicle trade regulation rules, And 456.1 to 456.5 covers ophthalmic practice rules, eyeglass rule. 460.1 to 460.24 covers labeling and advertising of home insulation. Dun 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 dun! Jeremy, the laughing duck scientist, signing off. Dun 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 dun! Quack 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 quack. Jeremy, the laughing duck scientist. These are the things that really quack me up. And today we're going to report on the Title 16 of Commercial Practices, Code of Federal Regulations of the Federal Trade Commission, Subchapter E, Rules, Regulations, Statement of General Policy, or Interpretation and Exemptions under the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act. Now then, 500.1 to 500.29 covers regulations under Section 4 of the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act. Now then, 501.1 to 501.8 covers exemptions from requirements and prohibitions under Part 500. Now then, 502.1 to 502.300 / 502.399 covers regulations under Section 5C of the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act. Now then, 503.1 to 503.6 covers statements of general policy or interpretation. Dun 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 dun! Jeremy, the laughing duck scientist, signing off. Dun 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 dun! Jeremy, the laughing scientist, died. Today we're going to discuss the Title 16 Commercial Practices of Code of Federal Regulations from the Federal Trade Commission, Subchapter F, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. 600 is reserved. 602.1 covers Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act of 2003. 603.1 covers definitions. 604.1 covers Fair Credit Reporting Act rules. 610.1 covers free annual file disclosures. 611.1 covers prohibition against circumventing treatment as a nationwide consumer reporting agency. 613.1 covers duration of active duty alerts. 614.1 covers appropriate proof of identity. 640.1 covers 640.1 to 640.6 covers duties of creditors regarding risk-based pricing. Now then, 641.1 covers duties of users of consumer reports regarding address discrepancies. 642.1 to 642.4 covers pre-screen opt-out notice. 660.1 to 660.4 covers duties of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agencies. Now then, 680.1 to affiliate, or 680.1 to 680.28 covers affiliate marketing. Now then, 681.1 to 681.2 covers identity theft rules. Now then, 682.1 to 682.5 covers disposal of consumer report information and records. Now then, 698.1 to 698.3 covers model forms and disclosures. Dun 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 dun. Quack 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 quack. Jeremy, the laughing mad scientist, done. Signing off. Dun 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 dun. Quack 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 quack. Quack 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 quack. These are the things that really quack me up. Jeremy, the laughing duck scientist. Quack 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 quack. Today we're going to discuss Title 16 Commercial Practices Code of Federal Regulations of the Federal Trade Commission, Subchapter G, which discusses the rules, regulations, statements, and interpretations under the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. Starts off with 700.1 to 700 to 12. Interpretations of Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. Now then, moving right along to 701.1 to 701.4, which covers disclosure of written consumer product warranty terms and conditions. Now then, moving right along to 702.1 to 702.3, which covers pre-sale availability of written warranty terms. Now then, moving right along to 703.1 to 703.8, which covers informal dispute settlement procedures. Subchapter H, moving right along to rules, regulations, statements, and interpretations under the Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvements Act of 1976. It starts off with 801.1 to 801.90, and it covers coverage rules, and moving right along to 802.1 to 802.80 covers exemption rules. Now then, 803.1 to 803.90 covers transmittal rules. Moving right along to Subchapter I, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is 901.1, covering procedures for state application for exemption from the provisions of the Act. And 902 to 999 is reserved. And so concludes another exciting episode of The Laughing Duck Scientist. Quack, 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 quack. Dun, 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 dun. Jeremy, the Laughing Duck Scientist.